Good morning. My name's Emily. I'm part of the charitable giving team here at Friends Church. And I know today we're going to be talking about some change, right? But something that is not changing is that we all agree that the world needs a Friends Church. I need a Friends Church. My church background, my kind of faith community background was one where questions were never really encouraged, certainly not, engaged with a whole lot. And I was looking for a place where I could wrestle with the way that my faith was changing, with the things that I had been taught to believe didn't fit anymore. And I wanted a place where I could work that out in community and figure out what other people were up to and just have other input, and be in a space where I could just be wherever I was at. You could be wherever you were at, and it was all good. And I found that here, and so I need this, and I know that each one of us needs Friends Church for different reasons. That might be one of my primary ones. I'd love to hear what some of yours are sometimes, but it's something that I feel is really vital. And we also see that in the results of our charitable giving here in this community. We have a very generous community. All of us is what makes Friends Church continue going. We don't have one or two people that fund our activities here. This is a team effort for sure. And we appreciate you being on the team. We appreciate you so much giving in whatever capacity you have available. And we would just encourage you to continue, if you need a place like this, to continue to give of your time and your talents and your finances so that we can carry on and continue being this Friends Church that the world needs. If you do want to join us in giving today, you can do that either on our app, on our website. There is a black box at the back, or you can sign up or adjust your pre-authorized giving that comes out each month as well. So I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for being here on this big Sunday. And I just encourage you to think about what it is that you need in Friends Church. Why do you need a place like this? Thanks.
Thank you, Emily. Friends Church exists to inspire each of us, right? To take us where we are and inspire us to something more. And something beautiful, something, we call it we say we take who we are and the world around us and we find a balance that creates this thing called we, where we are better because we are with people. Relationships that fuel us. People that make us better. Last night my wife called me out on this thing that I do, and it's so annoying. She's 100% right. Like 100% right. It makes it even more frustrating because I'm like, you're 100% right. That's we, though. She does it in love to make me better. And when we have this we in our lives, we look around us in this spiritual way and say, who in the world can we make their lives better? Needing nothing in return. All of you who donated socks, this is what you did. You took water. The people who will benefit from these socks will never know your name. That's okay. That's taking water. And Friend Church exists to inspire this in all of us. And most weeks I'm here to try and figure out what part we need to work on, what part I need to work on together. But today we have to go a little bit deeper than that. Today we have to wrestle with change. We told as many of you as we could ahead of time so that this moment wouldn't be painful. But in the last couple of weeks, Jeff gave his resignation for his place at Friends Church. Yeah. One of our two founding pastors. Given 28 years-ish, 28 years plus or minus, 28 years to inspire each of us. He's been at our funerals. He's been at our weddings. He's the person we call when we're struggling. He's given his heart and soul to inspire this community. And what he's done in terms of stepping away to a new opportunity, it in no way takes that away. So I want us to hold on to that piece the whole time. Chances are we're also feeling some sadness. That's okay. We're going to hold that feeling too. Whenever we want something, no change, and we experience change, we're going to feel something about that, right? This is not what I wanted, and yet this is what I have to feel. There's a part of us that's not going to want to do that. That's okay. We'll hold on to that too. Me and Jeff have walked this journey together I'm 2 years less than him. I started 2 years into Friends Church. And I've seen Jeff, and I've sat with meetings in Jeff, where he shared why it is he gave his life for this. Not that he's dying, gave his life. Come on, Vince. That was poorly put. Sorry, Jeff. He's not going anywhere right now. He's going to be here with us till January 25th. We're going to have a big party, send him away. But I didn't want to tell you guys what his next part of his journey is. Because in a sense, he's going from being up here to being in the seats with you all. Instead of inspiring people to do this journey, he's going to do it himself. But I wanted Jeff to come up, and I wanted to just spend some time talking about what this experience is, where he's going, and then give you guys a look into the past 28 years to see the man in front of us today. Everyone, big round of applause for Jeff. We committed to no tears, right?
Yep.
Not one tear.
Yep.
0 tears. Get my Kleenex out here. Starts already, doesn't it?
Jeez.
It's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah. I told Kathy one time, I said, I never wanted to get a dog because I know they don't last very long, and I never want to say goodbye to that thing when it passed away. We ended up with a dog, and I'm dreading that day. But this is kind of one of those things where you know this day will come. You know, the thing is, you guys are changing careers all the time. We're always celebrating that, right? It's like no big deal. It's like, whoa, hey, I've changed jobs. And we're like, whoa, good job. And when I get, you know, now it's like, oh.
Let's give you a break. Let's pull you off.
So,
what is the role you're taking?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, good.
Okay,
good.
There we go. Business.
Thank you.
Business.
Thank you. Happy thoughts.
Okay.
So I'm stepping out of this to take on the role of a general manager of a golf course and RV resort. It's up in Sundre. Many of you know that I enjoy the game of golf.
Really?
You're tired of hearing about it. That's one thing you won't have to listen to ever again, all right? Yeah, so...
Why this job, though? Again, golf, yes. But, go deeper than that.
Well, I just want to be clear that I wasn't looking for a job. I can honestly say in 28 years, I've never gone out looking. This has been an amazing ride. Mm-hmm. I've often told my kids, I said, I don't care what you do in life, but choose something you want to get out of bed and do. And this community has been that for me. It's right from day one, we kind of said, let's do church in a way that really works in real life for us. Mm-hmm. Hey? Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't,
let's have the courage to change it.
Right. Or get out.
Yeah.
So anyways, never went looking for this. A
so
friend
how did
of ours.
It find you? Yeah.
Yeah, so friends of ours, close friends. Kathy and I were on a call with them last spring, and we from time to time will call. They end up being in different places, and they'll just call. They say, "Hey, you got time for a call?" And we end up on this group chat, and he says, I'm thinking about buying a business. He owns a number of businesses, and he says, I'm thinking about buying a business. And he says, now I just need a Jeff Jarvis to run it. And he's never said anything like that before. And of course, I start laughing right away, not knowing what he means by that or whatever. And then he says, I'm thinking about buying a golf course. And he starts talking all about it. And I'm kind of laughing at the whole thing, not even thinking he's any remote, even remotely serious. And he says, yeah. He says, I can't imagine anyone better than you to run this thing. And Kathy says, I can see it. I can see it. And I kind of got a little shocked by her, looking at her going, you seem a little too excited about this idea of me stepping up. And Kathy has always been 100% supportive of my role here. She loves what we've created too. But something caught me, so anyways, I kind of dismissed the conversation because I didn't even want to have that conversation. I didn't even want to start entertaining it, but it wouldn't leave. It wouldn't leave. And so this summer we were together with our friends again, and I brought it up. I said, you weren't serious about that whole golf course thing, were you? And he says, actually, I am. Are you thinking about this? He says, I'm not wanting to pull you away from anything. But he said, we're closing in on all the fact-finding and everything.
One second, back up. Because you went from to, what was that journey like?
I don't even know. And I'm still thinking about it. It just kind of in the back of your mind start thinking, hey, look, we all know we have a shelf life in whatever role we're doing. Mm-hmm. And hey, 28 years is a long time. I don't care who you are.
Okay, but that's how you justifying.
I know. Hey, but
we talk about the I and the they. What's going on in your I there?
I'm excited about a number of different pieces of that role for sure.
So there was something in the I that was like, oh wait, that kind of lights me up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your first reaction to that feeling? Woohoo!
Yeah.
For all of those who know when your passion becomes your job, you might do a little bit less of that than you think.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm not under any illusions as to the amount of work that will be involved and how much will affect that. But yeah,
again,
there was different sides.
The process of it, as something comes up to us that we go, wait, that feels good.
Yeah.
Was there some part that didn't feel good?
This. Saying goodbye. I don't think I ever allowed myself to really entertain other ideas because I dreaded that. I think in those unguarded moments, I would just imagine what that next chapter could look like, some of the new challenges that we would offer, the change for Kathy and I. She'll be heavily involved.
You guys are living community there.
Yeah.
Like doing it together.
So my parents owned a place down in Phoenix that was much similar, big RV resort that had a beautiful golf course in it. We would go down and visit, and it would be surprising how involved into that community we'd become in a short amount of time. Every year we'd go down, we'd meet all these different people that we got to know, we'd be golfing with them, all kinds of different stuff together. And you never, in our minds, we often said, we could see ourselves doing something like that in some way down the road. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing how this kind of comes full circle. We just go, man, the idea of working together, being together in a big community like this, and some of the challenge of the golf course team. I've met some of the different staff that are running it. It's a well-run organization. There's some incredibly talented people there. I love the idea of working in a team. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there was sides of that and the new challenge of it. And the winters look a little different when the golf season's over. There's a lot of different things that kind of start, you just go, oh man, I love that idea of that for the next chapter of our lives. Mm-hmm. So yeah, in those unguarded moments, I'd allow myself to creep over there and go, ooh. So yeah, I think it came around to the point where I was like, I want to just investigate a little more. And of course, then in September I went and played the course. I'd never been on the resort actually prior to that. So went and played it, met the team, got toured through the whole facility, and man, yeah, more and more of it made sense.
Not that you're marketing, but is it a good course?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be going playing there. Come on, people.
Actually, it's a real gem out there that they got.
Nice.
So, in fact, that probably closed the deal for me personally. So
I want to rewind, though, because we all wrestle with the I and the they, right? Mm-hmm. You have this moment where there's something you want, some of the people around you want, and you're trying to figure out, how do I balance this to we, right? That people always say to me, how do you do it? And I'm like, oh, that's the whole spiritual journey. Figuring that out, navigating that. But I want to back them up. Me and you have been doing this for a long time. But they haven't been in all those meetings. They haven't seen everything we've seen. You and Kelly start Friend Church 1.0. We fast forward, and we get to be a huge church, but it's not the right place for us. We start Friend Church 2.0, me and you sitting in a room going, okay, now what? What kind of a community? If we start with a clear blackboard, what kind of community are we looking for? Do you have memories of those conversations, those early conversations? Mm-hmm. What comes up?
Well, there's a lot of internal conflict that we were wrestling with at that time.
Yeah.
It's like it wasn't just a number of staff stepping off the team at that time. There was a lot of personal, spiritual changes we were working through.
Yeah.
A lot of it, I think even Emily alluded to it in her charitable giving thing this morning. You get to a point where you start recognizing there's things that aren't working in your spiritual journey, in your church life, the way that you see the world, what you believed, and you start hitting those conflict pieces, and probably like sensing change is needed. That's where we were at. We're like, okay, there's a lot of change going on in the church community right now. Maybe this is a time where we need to start addressing some changes in the community. And I remember at that time our staff team all sitting down going, look at, if we're all signing on for this next era of Friends Church, I just got to be upfront, and we all took turns, said, I don't think I'm cool with us continuing to preach this or talk about that in this way. This got to give for me somehow.
I remember for you in those times, and again, this is only my memory, for you it was tied to who seemed to be welcome in the church. Mm-hmm. Was that one of the ones that you brought up at that time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we started Friends Church, we were like probably most any other traditional Christian church, just with a lot of lipstick, big rock band, and we'd do, a lot of different fun things on stage. But along the way, we always said we were going to be a church for people who didn't fit church. We just didn't know what that meant. Mm-hmm. But then a friend pulls me aside one time and says, he's married, he has kids. We're at football practice one night with our kids. Our kids are in football, and he says, Jeff, can I talk to you? And he says, over there. So I'm looking at him going, okay. And he says, Jeff, I just got to be honest with you, I'm gay. And I remember at that point in our lives, I'm just like, that's impossible. Because you're married and you have kids. And I just remember that was one of so many different...
But he told you because he knew if this comes out, this will change everything.
It will change everything.
I will not be welcome.
Right. And he wasn't even a part of Friends Church at that time. Mm-hmm. He was kind of in a different church, but he felt we were safe. Mm-hmm. But I remember even at that point going, oh my God, what do we do with this? Mm-hmm. Because our belief system right now doesn't have room for that. When someone comes along, like Emily was talking about, and questions something that they believe about the Bible or about evolution or about whatever, science, and they go, I don't buy what the Bible says on this thing. And I remember those conversations going, oh, well, that's okay. You don't have to leave. But what do we do with that? And I remember that these kinds of things were propping up again and again, and we're just like going, we believe this is about loving people. It's about bringing good in the world. But some of our beliefs are going to punt these people out the door. the more that they come out and are honest about that. And we just said, something's got to shift. So at that point in time, for me, thinking about these people having to leave because they couldn't ascribe to the beliefs that we were at the time holding.
Yeah.
I was just like, something doesn't feel right about this. Divorce, you name it. We could go down the list of different things that would disqualify people under the... So we said, we got to make changes. And that would be what we call 2.0, friends.
Do you remember the metaphor we talked about the meadow and the ledge?
Yeah, we often said that the traditional church environment at that point, prior to that, was like this beautiful meadow where when you could come in and you could believe all the things that were being taught, when your life lined up.
It's like Disney World. It's like all the rides are gorgeous. 100%. It's the most fun thing you could ever do.
It's just a beautiful environment. Everyone's so welcoming and loving, and you just come on in. You're one of us, and everyone belongs. It's just like, this is a place you never want to leave. Until your life makes a turn, and it doesn't fit the rule. It doesn't fit the belief system. When you start to ask questions no one wants you to ask. When your family member comes out of the closet, whatever it is, and all of a sudden that meadow, it isn't such a safe place. People, all of a sudden, you can tell there's conversations happening behind you and around you. You're not being invited to certain things. I felt that.
Do you remember
I watched that.
And remember that feeling of like...
And I watched my family go through that. And for me, I was always one that kind of fit in. I didn't really ask a lot of questions at that point. But I had friends that were talking and they're telling their stories about how they weren't welcome in their church. And I'm going, there's something broken about this picture. We can't be one of those. We gotta change the rules somehow. We gotta, So.
But we'd never seen anything other than
Why
the
do you have to talk about this shit that gets me? It gets me.
We're also allowed to swear at this place.
Yeah, that was part of Friends 2.0. And so as we broke the rules to make it more inclusive, a lot of people said, we're out. If you're going to include them, we're out.
Or they said, if you're going to include them, you're out.
One of the two.
Yeah.
One of the two.
We described it this way. There's a meadow, and on the edge is a cliff face.
Yeah.
And as you
it's like, man, if you don't ascribe to the rules, then you're the one that's no longer involved in Christianity. You're not even a part of this thing. You guys are reprobates. You're black sheep. You don't even belong.
And you can feel it when you're on the edge of the meadow, when you've been sent there. You can feel that edge. You're like, shit.
If it's not Christianity, then I guess it's atheism. I guess we're out.
I'm just going to jump.
We're giving up on all our faith and belief in God and the Bible and Jesus.
Or we climb down that cliff face. Do you remember those climbs?
Yeah, there's times, hey, a lot of our staff team were sitting there going, where are you at on this belief? And someone would say, well, I don't know if I believe that completely. And we're like, I don't know if I do either. But we can't talk about that.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. But then we're going, we have a feeling there's other people in our community that are struggling in the same way. So we said, we got to start talking. And as soon as we started opening up about that, there's people heading for the doors going, you guys are no longer part of the real spiritual community anymore. And it was like we had climbed off out of the meadow, and it just felt like outside the meadow was just this sheer drop. But at some point, we began recognizing, wait a second, no, actually, we don't have to give up on our spirituality. We don't have to even give up on our conception of God.
And it's not going to be just this like white knuckling it the entire time.
No. It's like this fear of losing your faith because you're questioning these different things. No, actually, we can question all kinds of things and still embrace some deep spirituality that even our ancestors knew very much and experienced very similar things in their own ways. So it's like at that point we started saying, it's kind of like we're a church on the ledge. We're kind of welcoming people out of the meadow, but we're not giving up on our faith. Come on down. Hey, we're right here. People are like, they feel like they're hanging off the meadow going, I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up. And we're like, you don't have to. We're right here.
There's a party right here. Like we're right here.
Yeah.
And remember the high? We called them high cliffers. They still wanted to get back in the meadow, but the meadow didn't like them. They were so hurt and so angry.
There's so many people that have so many rich relationships within Many of them have big families and community, best friends who are part of traditional church. And they're going, I don't want to lose them, but I have a feeling if I'm honest with them, they are not going to want me involved in there. And they sit there straddling these two worlds. We know that pain. And we just said, man, if we could just build a community where they could come in, they can wrestle, they can question, they can feel safe to come and journey with this, and they don't have to give up. And you don't have to even give up your family or friends. But we know what that's like to have that wrestling going on, and we want this to be a place where people can do that.
We didn't realize at the time, but a lot of people just jumped off the cliff. I'm done.
Yeah.
And then what we realized is people started showing up here, coming up from the bottom to the ledge. They're climbing up there like, anything up there? We're like, hey, we're right here. Come on up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it just became a party in the middle.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we finally, because for a while, we called it sniping the meadow. We were angry, right? That cliff face, well, that was freaking hard. And we were mad at those people. It was like, let's convert those buggers. Let's shoot them.
It's painful sometimes when you feel judged by people who you were a part of. And even though sometimes it's just fear on their part, they feel like you're somehow abandoning them too, or you're
making things unsettled for them.
Sure, you're wrecking things, or maybe you don't care anymore, and you're just walking away callously, and so you can feel that stuff. Yeah, and I mean, even from us, when I would feel them talking, that was the thing. You develop all these relationships, and then people step out, and then they start saying things about you or your community, and yeah, man, there was some anger there for some years, and it'd come out. We'd call it sniping. We'd say, oh, you think you believe that? Oh, you think that belief's right? How about this? Or, whatever. And you'd poke holes in certain theology. And it was,
it was a reaction.
Yeah, it was a reaction. And regret. Yeah. I regret some of those years where we, took issue with some of those people that maybe rejected us and what we were trying to build here at Friends Church. Yeah.
Or help people down the cliff before they were ready.
Yeah.
You realize that's their journey, not ours.
Right. And there's some people that don't have to leave the meadow, and it would be good for them. It would be healthy for them to stay right where they're at. And we don't have to try to convert. There's people who just need a Friends Church, and we want to be that for them.
Have you ever figured out, it's like I walk in a whole group of people, we walk into this meadow with this amusement park and it's gorgeous, and everyone just sees beauty, and all I see is like the chipped paint and the nut that's loose, and it's freaky. Have you ever figured out why some people, the meadow just doesn't seem like, some people it's like they see this beautiful thing, and some of us just go, I don't know, it's just, have you ever figured out why certain of us do this?
Everyone has a unique journey, and I think sometimes we end up leaving the meadow because we've seen something, we've felt something, some just didn't make sense any longer, and I don't know why it hits some of us and not others. I've often sat in family reunions with my own family sometimes, and I look at how firmly they believe in the things they believe, and there have been times where I've wondered, why couldn't I have just been okay the way you are? And because it would have created a lot less stress. This is, it would have. There was a time when there was 700 people showing up to be a part of Friends Church. It would have just, I was at a funeral yesterday, and a whole bunch of people I knew from my former life were all there. One pastor comes up to me and he says, hey, you remember so-and-so? Oh, yeah, how's he doing? Oh, yeah, he's doing great. He's got a church, 1,200. They can't, they're going to multiple services, whatever. And I'm looking at him, listening to it, and going, I remember those days. And I celebrate for all those people for which that traditional environment just really works. And I don't know what happens or why that is, but we each walk our own journey. And I would never trade where I'm right now or trade this for anything, honestly. Yeah.
We get this idea of a community on a ledge. In the meadow, it was about being in the meadow. That was the point. For us, we realized we didn't have that. It wasn't like, okay, to be in the meadow or be in the ledge, you got to sign up to X, Y, and Z. That's when we started asking the question, what value is a church to the world?
I think that was probably one of the biggest questions that we were wrestling with right at the very beginning. It's like, if a church cannot demonstrate love to all people, if there's such a tight criteria for the people that truly are welcome, well, are we kidding ourselves here? How many churches, if they folded, would the world around them give a rip?
They'd like the extra parking.
Yeah, I suppose. And we just started saying, isn't the church supposed to be something that truly leaves a mark on the world around us? Where people go, please don't let that place close down. We need that place. We need more of you. Rather than we need less of you. And, we've had many conversations. There have been many times where I was nervous about telling people what I do for a living because of the disdain that religion has had on people. And we just said, is that not backward? Isn't the church supposed to be the light of the world? Isn't the church supposed to inspire people by the good works they're doing in the world? These are the words of Jesus. We just said, something's got to give in the way we do this. That was the impetus behind Friends Church 2.0, really.
And we languaged it, taking water.
Taking water, yeah.
This idea that there's a well inside of us that's spiritual, and we give it away in health.
I remember in the midst of all the change and deconstruction, when we started talking about, it was like Jesus, he boiled it down so simply. He just said, love God and love people. Like that's it. Let's not confuse this. Let's not complicate this. And when more we talked about that, we just said, okay, let's not complicate what church is supposed to be. Let's teach people how to love. And if we could do that, let's teach people how to take water. And if we can do that, let's lead by example. Let's just get out there and let's just talk about doing that. I remember at one point, I wasn't sure if I was losing my faith. I remember thinking I might be jumping at this point, which means I'm done. I'm out. But at that point, when we start talking about being a community that would try to inspire people to love better, love, period, something started growing again inside of me. And I remember even within the team, we'd sit around that table and go, could you sign on for another 10 years doing that? And I remember right across, everyone said, okay, I'm in for that. I'm in for that kind of church. Otherwise, I think I might be resigning.
Best job in the world. No
Best
disrespect
job.
to your new job.
Yeah, I agree.
But literally to inspire people to love better.
Oh,
Best job in the world.
and I probably over the last number of months, that's the thing that keeps me awake at night is watching people do it. Those emails I get, someone saying, I heard your story about donating blood, and I went and donated blood for the first time this week. I remember reading that email and just going, oh yeah. Hearing about different people signing on to different causes in the city that resonated for you. Someone saying, I got so excited about this thing, and I went and volunteered. First time I ever volunteered. We're like, yeah. To think that we can be a gym that gets people thinking deeply about the way you're going to live when you walk out these doors. And when I hear people who come in here, often your family and friends, and you introduce us to them, and then offline they say, I don't know what you did with Buddy here. But he is a different person. And he talks about this place. I go, oh.
What are you going to miss most?
Oh, that by a long shot. Yeah. Oh, there's so much I'm going to miss. This is the part that just makes this good opportunity less good. I'm going to miss the conversations, watching the journey, watching the growth in people. Yeah.
You're not gone yet, Jeff.
No, you're going to be good and sick of me before I'm gone here.
But folks, today we get to say thank you. Can we give Jeff a huge round of applause? Proud of your brother.
Thanks for these. I appreciate it.
Can I get the band to come up? Change is always hard, isn't it? Anytime somebody has impacted our lives as much as Jeff, we're going to feel it. But today, as we go forward, and again, Jeff's not done. He'll be here to January 25th. We'll have a big party for him. As we go forward, there's a couple pieces I want you to remember. Jeff and I, we are not Friends Church. This building is not Friends Church. Friends Church is each one of us realizing that we don't fit traditional church, but we fit here. We only lose Friends Church if we forget that we are Friends Church. When we walk out these doors, we take Friends Church to everyone we meet. When we're doing our work at home, we take Friends Church to those moments. When we're dysregulated and trying to figure out how do I regain my sense of calm, that is Friends Church. We came here because we don't fit someplace else. Or maybe I should say it this way. We came here because some of us chose and some of us were forced. The questions we asked weren't welcome. The people we loved, we were said, no, not that person. The things that we did as part of our spiritual journey were not welcome there, and so we came here. Inside of each of us is that spark. This gym exists to light that spark, blow oxygen on it, get it fired up. Because I don't know about you, but if I'm not here for a time, I start losing track. My spiritual journey kind of goes off the rails a little bit. We need the gym. But not because the gym is the place, not because Jeff is the place, not because Vince is the place, but because this is where we go to find that part inside of us that says, I am Friends Church. And no one can take that away from us. And the world so desperately needs that. Because I need that. I think you need that. And all the people around us who don't fit need that. I'm going to go super old school here and say amen. Amen. That just means hell's yes. Folks, I want the band to play that last song. What was it called again? Hold Your Head. I sat in the back when they were singing. Jeff starts crying. And I'm like, it's like they wrote that for you, huh? He's like, yeah. So as we say the first goodbye to Jeff, may we hold our heads up high and never forget we are Friends Church.